Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is from Canto 2, entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 5, entitled The Cause of All Causes. And this morning we're doing text 6. So without further ado, we'll start the class. I'm filling in for Mother Gita, who can't make it today. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajakacharya Stotra Satasishimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityananda Prabhishta Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajakacharya Astotra Satasishimada's Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON founder Charge Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, सामवेद भक्त बिंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Gauranga. Worship all. Namo Vishnu Praya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Nityananda. Namaste Krishna Banaya Prabhupada Sitapani Sri Gaura Karana Shakti. Narayana Namaskritya Narum Chevam Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Gudirayat Nashta Praiswa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhavatu Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, Text 6. Naham Vida Param, Nahaveda Param Yasmin, Na Param Na Samam Vibhu, Na Marupa Gune Bhavyam, Sad Asad Kinchit Anyata. Naham Veda Param Hyasmin, Na Param Na Samam Vibho, Nama Rupa Guna Bhavyam, Sad Asad Kinchit Anyata. Naham Veda Param Hyasmin, Na Param Na Samam Vibho, Nama Rupa Guna Bhavyam, Sad Asad Kinchit Anyata. Hare Krishna. Please stand if you feel so inclined. Unmute
Hare Krishna.
yourself and chant.
Naham Veda Param Hyasmin, Na Param Na Samam Vibho, Nama Rupa Gunair Bhavyam, Sad Asat Kinchit Anyata.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Okay. We'll do word for word now. Na, do not. Aham, myself. Veda, no. Param, superior. He, for. Asmin, in this world. Na, neither. Aparam, inferior. Na, nor. Samam, equal. Vibhu, O great one. Nama, name. Rupa, characteristics. Gune, by qualification. Bhavyam, all that is created. Sat, eternal. Asat, temporary. Kinchit, or anything like that. Anyata, from any other source. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, is not created from any source other than that of your Lordship, thou so great. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The manifested world is full of varieties of created beings in 8,400,000 species of life. And some of them are superior and inferior to others. In human society, the human being is considered to be the superior living being. And among the human beings, there are also different varieties: good, bad, equal, etc. But Narada Muni took for granted that none of them has any source of generation besides his father, Brahmaji. Therefore, he wanted to know all about them from Lord Brahma. Oma Ginat Virandasya Gana Gana Shalakaya Chakshu Amilitam Jena Tasma Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparatika Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Itinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Charini Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gurati Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So, the translation again. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, Text 6. Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, is not created from any source other than that of your Lordship, thou so great. So, this is Narada Muni speaking. And Narada is questioning his father Brahma. And this whole conversation, father to son, Brahma to Narada, Narada asking questions, is being related, the whole conversation being related by Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Pariksit. Because Maharaj Pariksit had asked a question about the creative energy, and Narada Muni had asked a similar question to Lord Brahma. So when Shukadeva Goswami was answering Maharaj Pariksit, he actually recounted this conversation between Brahma and Narada. So this is Shukadeva Goswami saying that Brahma is being talked to by Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is saying, praising Lord Brahma, says that whatever we can understand by his name, or systematic nomenclature means systematic name. And anyway, we won't get into detail too much about systematic, but it is the taking for granted nomenclature's name. Or name that describes the class that that thing belongs to. Maybe that's an easier way to describe nomenclature. Characteristics, the things about it that make it special, that make it stand out. And features of the parts, that means features, the parts of that thing, of a particular thing, whether that thing is regarded as superior, inferior, or equal by a particular standard, whether that thing is to stay forever or temporary. So Naradaji is saying that this is all created from you, from your Lordship, being so great. You're able to do all of that. So it's very interesting that we are aware of the fact that Lord Brahma is not eternal. Lord Brahma will leave the body. 311 trillion and 40 billion years later, Lord Brahma will leave the body. So it becomes an interesting situation where now Narada is saying that Lord Brahma creates something that is eternal, when he himself does not live forever. He's not immortal. So how do we reconcile all of this? Well, actually, it goes back to Krishna himself. Mm. Krishna himself and how he uses his pure devotees. So Lord Brahma is the secondary creator. Lord Vishnu is the primary creator, first creator. Creates universes, Mahavishnu coming out of his pores, and then expands to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And this is how Lord Brahma comes from the navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So Lord Brahma is a jiva, living entity here, and he creates the varieties in the universes and other things in the universes from the energy of the universe, creating into matter. Now, also in certain pastimes, by the will of Krishna, he would appear. Now, Krishna is eternal. When Krishna wanted to perform the pastime of killing Hiranyaksha, he came as Lord Varaha, the boar incarnation. He came from Lord Brahma. He came by his own will through Lord Brahma. So, in one sense, it is, even though the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in fact the underlying cause, he's the cause of all causes, as Brahma himself says. Sarva Karana Karana. It also happens to be the title of this chapter. So the Lord is the cause of all causes. So through his will, just like he came to Mathura through Vasudev and Devaki, he also came as a born incarnation from Lord Brahma. And since the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is eternal, then through Lord Brahma, he came to be. Therefore, we can give some credit to Lord Brahma that he has actually created something that's eternal. You can't create Krishna. We have to have that clear. But still, Krishna chose to come to Lord Brahma in his Varaha form. So that's one instance of he himself, Brahma, being not eternal, but because the Lord came through him. And Lord Brahma is creator, when things come through him. And Lord Varaha chose to come through Lord Brahma. So that's one instance. So now it is not wrong to talk about Brahma, his father, as being able to create temporary as well as eternal. That's one argument in favor of Narada Muni. So Narada is praising Lord Brahma that everything is from no other source except your lordship. Thou art so great. Now, devotees praising other devotees for their qualities or for the service that they do, that is very much encouraged. One doesn't praise oneself because that's in the category of false ego. But you certainly can praise others. And if you're praising a father, what's wrong with that? It couldn't be better. A son appreciating a father. So, in the other religions, it's even put in as one of the commandments, honor thy father and mother. So, this was what Narada Muni was doing, honoring. And Narada Muni is known not to hesitate to honor devotees, citing that they are very wonderful, great devotees having received the mercy of the Lord. There's a whole book, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which is in 3 parts. The first part is Narada Muni. Basically, the entire book is about Narada Muni going from one devotee to another and talking about how they have received the mercy of the Lord and praising the devotees for their activities. The whole part 1 of Brihad Bhagavatamrita is about that. And what it is that when a particular devotee is praised, then out of humility, they say, oh, no, I'm not qualified to receive the greatest mercy from the Lord. Narada, you should look at then they mention another devotee and mention the achievements of the devotee. Mm. So one step after another, one situation after another, Narada went to those people who one devotee after another, saying, this other devotee is actually more qualified. He's got more of the mercy of the Lord than me. Narada will go there and praise him. So his praising Lord Brahma is not surprising. Narada has no reservations when it comes to praising someone, especially the person connected with Krishna. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, this world is full of varieties of created beings in 8,400,000 species of life. And these are all created by Lord Brahma. Now the breakdown of it is that in the water, in the oceans, the seas, the lakes, all around the universes in this whole material, manifestation, material creation, 900,000 species of them are in the water. Aquatics, we call them, because aqua is Latin for water. So aquatics, those that live in the water. 900,000 of them. Srila Prabhupada said the list is in the Padma Purana. So in all of the universes, the material universe, there are trees and plants totaling 2 million out of this 8,400,000. 2 million of them are plant life, tree life. Then 1,100,000 insects and reptiles. Insects and reptiles. This is all through the material creation. Then birds, 1 million of them. Then beasts, animals, little ones up to the big ones, 3 million of them. Now, this 900,000, 1.1 million, 1 million, 2 million, 1 million, and 3 million together is 8 million. That is the total of the aquatics, the trees, the insects, reptiles, the birds, and animals. 8 million. 400,000, that's what's left of the 8,400,000. Those are human species. So they are categorized as humans, including the ones we call aliens, including those in the heavenly planets, including the demigods. They all fall under this. By the way, on this planet, I know we have different races, but color and slightly different type features does not count as a particular type of human species. The whole Earth is one out of the 400,000. One species. The species are different when we look, at maybe they don't even have 5 fingers. They have 3. There are species that have 3 fingers. There are species, so many things that are definitely different about them. So in this earth, there's one. All of us, one human race, counted as one out of the 400,000. So Srila Prabhupada is also talking about in these 8,400,000 species, some of them are superior and some of them are inferior to others. In terms of intelligence, the human being is more intelligent than the animals, than the birds, than the insects, reptiles, and definitely the trees and aquatics. The human being is more intelligent. It does not mean that those other species don't have any intelligence. They just don't have it advanced to the level of the human species. So Srila Prabhupada has in one lecture mentioned that, all right, so then if we are, in those of us in human bodies, souls in the human bodies, the soul in every species that's alive, a living entity, is of the same quality. So as far as the soul is concerned, we are all at the same level, but different bodies and different levels of intelligence are there, and the human being is superior. So Srila Prabhupada describes that if we are given that, the superior position, then we are supposed to be caretakers of the other ones that have inferior intelligence compared to us. So he brought one point very, very seriously to his devotees in a conversation he was having. It was almost like back and forth. They were asking questions, and in a sense, they were even debating Srila Prabhupada from what they knew, and Srila Prabhupada would actually explain things. So then they said to him, to the devotees, in the Bible, God gave dominion over everything to the human being. The human being has dominion. And so Prabhupada says, yes, if you have dominion, does not mean you should kill animals as you like. Just because you have been given dominion over them, that is, you can control them. What you can do, or what you should do, is protect them, and also you can take service from them. That's there. But to kill them is very, very wrong. And then he quoted, because the argument was from the Bible, so he also quoted the Bible and said, God said, thou shalt not kill. And then the argument was also made that if you are supposed to protect, if a parent has a child, then the parent is supposed to protect the child. And so if you bring that argument into how people are killing animals, when we're supposed to be ones having dominion over them, parents also have dominion over children, at least for a period of time until they get older and they're on their own. So if you have dominion over them, that means you should kill them. We don't kill our children. So the same thing, when we have dominion over these other species, they are also God's children. And God has given people dominion, human beings dominion, so we never kill. And that's why it's important to understand that thou shalt not kill means, period. Thou shalt not kill. Not that people should not kill other human beings, but it's all for all species. So some species are superior, some species are inferior based on intelligence. Human beings, the Papa says, is considered to be a superior living being. But there are among human beings also varieties based on mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So a devotee is supposed to, at the very least, at the material level, behave in mode of goodness. You should be a good person. Not only does that benefit us to be good, but it also benefits the society, this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There are so many people who are not members of ISKCON, and therefore, when we are living our lives, we actually, at anytime, representing the society, representing Srila Prabhupada's efforts. So we always have to put our best foot forward in our behavior. And if we quote from or read the Nectar of Instructions, there's specific things that are listed that we should do, especially when it comes to how to love each other. We should give gifts to each other. And by doing so, there's a chance that we will also receive gifts, which is nice. Now, giving gifts and receiving gifts don't have to be done only on birthdays. Although here on this earth, it's become the fashion that, people receive gifts, people just give others gifts based on their birthday. At the very least, they'll just wish them a happy birthday. And I hope that when devotees do that they will add the next statement, which is a nice blessing to the person. May you never take birth here again. We wish for the person not to take birth again. We're actually wishing that the person go to the spiritual world. That's a wonderful blessing. If you're not doing it, please add it to your sincere wishes for those when their appearance day or their birthday comes. So The different species are supposed to be protected by the human being and not abused and not killed. Mm. So among human beings, good people, there are bad people. Bad people are the ones in the mode of ignorance, and usually those the ones that wind up in the hellish planets for a period of time to undergo punishment, and then the soul takes birth again, but the soul takes birth again based on some punishment you're going to go through. The species that are non-human, those don't have the level of intelligence of human beings. And sometimes they are deliberately, people who are in a mode of ignorance, done bad things, for the most part in their lives, they will be put in one of those bodies that are non-human. And when that is, that happens to any soul, that will take a while. It will take quite a while before that soul is put in a human body again. They will be put in a human body, but it will take a while, quite a while. Therefore, we have to guard against mode of passion and mode of ignorance, and always be in the mode of goodness, to be tolerant, to be understanding, to make sure we don't offend anyone. So always just keep a very nice, cordial atmosphere around us. People can pick it up. They literally can pick it up. It also affects when we cook, those of us that cook, if we are thinking negatively, if we are thinking in a mode of ignorance, things upside down, things bad, not following rules and so on, that kind of consciousness will go into the grains. And those who are well seasoned in Krishna consciousness, they literally, after it's offered, even as prasadam, they can taste the difference. They really can taste the difference. I have got brother, his name was Chakra. He's left his body. At the time, he transferred from, he relocated to Girinagri from New York. And there was one particular Mataji that also had come. And just like all of us, we come, we're raw. We don't know much about the spiritual culture, and we're all learning there. So in the beginning stages of this particular Mataji, she got into trouble with so many of the devotees there. But she also liked to cook. She also liked to make sweets and so on. But every time she cooked, some devotees were saying among each other that they don't feel just the wholeness. It doesn't feel wholesome. And one devotee went as far as to say, I think rather than eat what she cooks, I'd rather fast. Literally. That's how they were feeling. So to stay in the mode of goodness in our material activities, it's extremely important for us. And then on top of that, we have been given the mercy by being shown a very simple way in which to be in the mode of Sudasattva, pure goodness, transcendent. Transcendental activities involved mostly, for this age, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That mantra is a mantra, as the Prabhupada describes, it's a mantra for deliverance. It is a mantra for deliverance. When I think about it, getting out of the material world, that is a very difficult place. So this is a place where we have to struggle to live. Mamai Vam Sajiva Loka, Bhuta Sanatana. We are actually part and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we're going through a difficult life, hard labor. We have to work, whether we like where the work is or whether we don't like it, we still have to work only because we have to survive by making enough money to pay the bills just to live. And in the meantime, the body is also breaking down. And sickness comes. And bad weather comes. And so it's a difficult place to live. We're just trying to tolerate as much as we can. But it is a difficult place. And therefore, the Hare Krishna mantra is a mantra for deliverance. We should be eternally grateful to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come to freely distribute Krishna Prema. We don't even know Krishna so well, but the Lord, as Lord Chaitanya, has shown so much mercy that we even, without knowing the Lord so well, still get put on the path to loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mm-hmm. So we are very fortunate to be chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and we should do that all day. Either we're doing it ourselves or we're listening to music that has the Hare Krishna mantra as its lyrics. Very important, so that our mind is constantly soaking in the holy name through hearing. Mm-hmm. So yes, human beings have different varieties, good, bad, and so on. In America, they say the good, the bad, and the ugly. But basically, it's different categories of more the goodness, more the passion, and more the ignorance. We should never be on the more the ignorance. That is asking to go to a situation that we will not like at all in our next life. Hellish situation. And non-human type bodies. Definitely avoid that. So the three modes of material nature are the ones that run this material world. We think we do, but actually we are under the influence of the three modes of material nature. Krishna is advising Arjuna become transcendental to these three modes. That is instructions for us also. Become transcendental to these three modes. So when we have to, since we are here with these material bodies and in the material world, when we have to act in the mode of goodness. But we have to be very much connected to transcendence. Hearing, chanting, and the other 7 processes of devotional service. We have to be involved in as many of them as possible. So hearing is the first. Hearing gives us the guidance, what to and what not to do. Hearing is very important. And then chanting the holy name, that's what delivers us. The Hare Krishna mantra. Exactly as Srila Prabhupada said it. And we said, exactly as Lord Chaitanya has also said it. And we're saying that because there are some people who were born in this situation where those around them were chanting the mantra, but they were saying Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. When you are totally confident in your teacher, you do what the teacher says. Lord Chaitanya says, you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It is also known that the benefit you get from chanting one name, Krishna, you'll have to chant 3 names of Lord Ram to get the same benefit. You'll have to chant 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu to get the same benefit. So 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu gives the same benefit as one name, once pronouncing the name of Lord Ram, and 3 names, not 3 names, 3 times pronouncing Lord Ram's name gets the benefit that you get from pronouncing one name. I mean, saying out one name of Krishna. Therefore, it's like 3,000 names of Lord Vishnu to give the same benefit as one name pronunciation of Lord Krishna. This is how important Krishna is. Although Ram, Vishnu are all incarnations, expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Lord, Sri Krishna, in his original form, 2-handed Krishna, he is the most superior. Every species emanates from the Lord, as he says. And so the wise who know this, they worship him and give him their hearts. They have to always remember that. The wise people are always worshiping Krishna and giving their hearts to him in terms of service. There's nothing they wouldn't do. There's nothing that he says to do instructions he gives that we won't do. He says it all in the Bhagavad Gita. So everything that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, we should follow. Then we will be satisfied with us, Guru will be satisfied with us, and from that, Krishna will be more than willing to have us join him in the spiritual world, go back home. So Arjuna is being advised by Krishna to transcend the modes. Triguna Vishaya Veda, Nishta Gunyo Bhava Arjuna. Nedvanvo Nitya Satvasto, Niryoga Shema Atmavan. The Vedas deal mainly with the subjects, the three modes of material nature, but become transcendental to this mode. Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a commentary on the Vedanta Sutta, that's also part of the Vedas. That's where we should concentrate our energies. And like that, basically just grow and teach others too. Very much Lord Chaitanya wants this. He wants us to teach others. What we've learned, you repeat the same thing. Don't adulterate. Don't adulterate. And put your own spin on it. You can give examples that support the statements that you're making. But the statements should be statements as made by Guru and as made by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita. What Chaitanya charged us, that's what a devotee should be about. He came to show us how to be a devotee, and he's saying, don't pollute or adulterate, put your own spin, as they say in America, in what's in the Shastra. Say it like it is, and more importantly, live it. In other words, as they say in America, walk your talk. If you're going to talk Shastra, you have to live according to what the Shastra says too. And sometimes that's difficult for, people who are in Krishna consciousness, not realizing how much the false ego works hand in hand with Maya to sabotage our own effort to grow. Krishna consciousness does not stay at one particular level. You can't be Krishna conscious and say, okay, I'm satisfied with the way things are. I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over again. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. Krishna consciousness is about growth. There always should be the use of our intelligence and how to go further up in quality and sometimes quantity in our Krishna consciousness. And if you don't know, well, you ask, well, how can I be a better devotee? All right, well, you can read, you hear and practice what you hear. And if you practice what you hear, you'll be a better devotee. And if you don't know, even when all of this says, well, I don't know what else to, then stop praying. Prayer can also help us because prayer is a request to the Lord. And a request involving Krishna consciousness is definitely a wonderful request that will be responded to. The Lord never throws our prayers away. He hears everything. And the Paramatma's duty is to guide and supervise and permit. And so if we're asking to be better devotees, that's my question every time I see any sannyasi says, Maharaj, can you give me some advice on how to be a better devotee? Every one of them I would ask the same question. Because different ideas would come. And the Lord would use Guru to help me understand some more things about Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna is being advised by Krishna, be transcendental to these modes. Be free from dualities and all anxieties for gain and also for safety. And just understand that you should be established in the self. Otherwise, it means you should be thinking in terms of spiritual, not material. So the advice that Krishna was giving Arjuna is transcend the modes of material nature. Be free from dualities. Dualities is good and bad. That's all what's here in the material world. There's no good and bad in the spiritual world. Spiritual world is all good, so there's no good and bad. And now be free from all anxieties for gain. lamenting, to be lost things, hankering for things that we haven't gotten yet. Yeah, you can aim for some things materially, but when we aim for things materially, we should also have the reason for aiming for those things being connected to devotional service to the devotees, to Guru, and to Krishna. Anything that we want to have come to our lives that's material, there should be a reason behind it that is spiritual. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. And otherwise, all it's going to do is entangle us in more and more and more materialism, and we'll be stuck here, guaranteeing another life here in the material world in another physical body. So for devotees, see, kamis, they want to just make it big in order to satisfy their senses. That's Maya. As His Holiness Devami Swami explained, there's two tracks. Krishna means devotional service. Maya means sense gratification, material sense gratification. Devotional service is also sense gratification, but it's gratifying Krishna's senses, not ours. When we connect with Maya, then we want to satisfy our senses. And then we still say we are servant of a servant of a servant, and we want to satisfy our senses, but not the senses of the master. So then we're not being honest with ourselves. So be free from dualities, Krishna says, from all anxieties for gain and also for safety. Safety is Krishna's business. If we give our hearts to Krishna, surrender to Krishna, then we'll see in every aspect of our lives on a daily basis, the protection will be there. And people who know this for a fact and they give their hearts to Krishna in service, they see the protection come many, many, many times over on a daily basis. So devotion service is not about looking at it from an extracurricular standpoint. Oh, I have this life that I lead, my material life, which is important to me. And when I have time, then I put in these other things for service because I've heard that, so many times, therefore I'll do some service. Anyone who thinks that way has actually got life upside down. It is the spiritual that's important because the spiritual is what gets us out of this jail, this material world. Spiritual activities. If we put it mentally as not so important compared to what I have to do based on my job, well, let's take the job. Yes, it provides money for paying the bills. For what? For our spirit? No, for the physical body. What's the physical body going to do? It's going to leave us. It's going to stop functioning. That's all we get from materialism, death, and everything gets taken away. But when we do spiritual activities, devotional service, then the credit is there. And that helps us to get out of this difficult world, a world of disease and a world of old age. So that should be, as far as common sense goes, that should be the priority. Spiritual activities. Therefore, anybody that's gotten some service in the temple should feel very fortunate that that service is there. It is not something to play with. If we play with it, that means Maya has stolen our intelligence. Maya, aparita, jnana. Maya has stolen our intelligence. And now we're so interested in things that are connected with material sense gratification. And we're wasting our energy. It is so important because if we're younger and we don't put in service and don't get spiritual credits from taking devotion service seriously, and we get older and even come to our senses and say, oh, I want to serve more, the physical body won't let you because you're too old. It just won't be able to function like it used to. So when our youth and when we're just a little bit past it in the late 20s, 30s, 40s, up to 50s, do the best that you can, putting the spiritual activities as priority all of the time. If you're being told that you have to serve and you're resisting serving, you have really put yourself, and I'll say it like it is, in a very pathetic situation. Because you're not realizing what's there for you. This is what takes us out of the material world. Why stop it? Why put material things in front of that? Material things just give us what? Death. That's all. Everything that we struggle for will be taken away. So we have to understand, use our intelligence and say the spiritual should always supersede, come before the material. We should never be encouraged to do devotional service. We should be eager to do devotional service. That's a real devotee. A real devotee doesn't have to be encouraged. A real devotee wants to jump at the opportunity to serve because they know it's a great privilege. Because billions of people in the world are not serving devotionally. They're not. They're satisfying their senses and they're going to go into different bodies. Some of them not even going to get human bodies next life because they're acting in the mode of ignorance, abusing their bodies and abusing others. And we have this wonderful opportunity to get out of the material world, to go to a place where it's an eternal party. Service is done in love. Everything is provided, no anxieties. Now, why wouldn't we want to do that? So we're struggling in this material world. But because the spiritual activities have been made so accessible, all we have to do is, I would quote Srila Prabhupada's words, one should take advantage of it. So we have to learn tolerance too, because the things, the happiness and the stress come, there's cold, there's warm. Sometimes it's too cold, sometimes it's too warm. And if we tolerate, then we'll become free from these anxieties. Gain and loss, it doesn't matter. Whatever comes, Krishna has my welfare at heart. So a lot of money, big house, little house, as long as I'm using what I have to serve Krishna, then my mind is in the right place. And if I use it for just myself and prioritize material activity at any time over spiritual activities, that's wrong. Prioritize material activities over spiritual activities, at any time we do that, we're already wrong. If we want real enjoyment, serve more. Serve more. Serve devotionally more. Serve devotees. Serve Guru. Serve the deities. And serve especially in activities in the temple, more so than the house. Because the house is a place where you do your material activities. And then there's a little bit of break given to us to do spiritual activities at home. The temple is 100% Krishna's business. So if you take service in the temple as priority, your mind is in the right place. That's where Krishna appreciates even more, not the service we do at home. So that we have to remember. And we shouldn't be asked to do service. We should be eager to do. See, Papa said that's the price. Eagerness is the price for going home, back to Godhead. So Narada is praising Lord Brahma's situation, Brahma's activities of creation. But as a devotee, from a devotee standpoint, Narada is appreciating Lord Brahma. That we should be about that. We should be appreciative. Now, we'll say one more point and then we open up for questions. I know we're getting close to 9. The understanding that the devotee has to have is when a team which has a coach, the coach is talking to the team and the coach is rather intense talking to the players. It's not because the coach hates the players. The coach is trying to motivate the players to win. That's what coaches do. So in the same way, when it comes to temple and temple management and temple devotees, the management plays the role of coaches. when they try to encourage us and sometimes even express what seems like frustration, it's not because they want you to do anything for them. They want you to win. Win what? Win the satisfaction and win hmm, of Krishna. Of Krishna. That's the bottom line. So nobody should just fall apart just because, oh, this happened and that happened and this happened to me and so on. Are you serving Krishna well? What is management asking you to do? Help them? No. It's about serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what we have to remember. Mm. So the guidance is going to be there. And sometimes coaches, sometimes they will be intense because they want you to do well. Switcher masters do that all the time. And some of my Guru Maharaj was screaming at us. There were times in Dashan where he meets his disciples. Does he hate us? Of course not. He's motivating us. This is a huge opportunity we got. Krishna, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we are chanting only a few rounds. Doing 16 rounds, some people even struggle to get to 16 rounds. We should get to the point where we are looking forward to chanting. First, we have to try to do it. Then we should get to a point where we're so used to doing it that we look forward to doing it, chanting the holy name and finishing 16 rounds, even though it's supposed to be 64 rounds. Lord, Srila Prabhupada has already given us that mercy. So we should take advantage of it. We keep saying it, take advantage, take advantage, take advantage of it. Hmm? Lord Brahma has taken great advantage of it, and he's going back to Vaikuntha at the end of life. And we are in that sampradaya, Brahma Gaudiya sampradaya. So what are we doing? Take advantage of service, never be told again to do service that you know you're supposed to do. But now you have to, you got to a point where management is trying to tell you or trying to encourage you. You should be eager. Eager people don't get encouraged. They just do things on their own and do even more than what's expected of them. And that should be the attitude of a devotee. Hare Krishna. Shira Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you for coming and listening. We're all trying to help each other with these statements that come through me. It's not for me, it's for my guru and Shira Prabhupada. That's what I pray for before starting to talk. So now is the time to unmute yourself. If you want to add to this, if you want to ask some questions or realizations that you want to share, this is the time to do that. Shira Prabhupada ki jai. So unmute yourself. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please
Hare
accept my
Krishna. Jai.
obeisances. All
Accept my
glories
and
to
glory to
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
All glories to the devotees on the call.
Jai.
Towards the end, you made a very nice point that there is a coach and he is motivating the team, not that the person is frustrated or having issues. Uh, More like to for the team to be encouraged to do better.
Better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, because I was reflecting on a couple of things that happened in the past, and how seniors keep on correcting, and we become better. It was like yesterday as well, after the aarti was done, uh,
Mm-hmm.
in that quick thing, Vraja was like, who can do the who will do the Prem Dhwani, and she always sees me
Oh,
when
the
I am
famous
alone
Dwani
in the
press.
temple.
Mean Jayam
When I
Vishnupad Paramhans, that one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
whenever we both, like, she is doing aarti, or any of the evening aartis are being done, or
Mm-hmm.
even in the mornings,
Mm-hmm.
I am there. I am alone over there. So I always do those Prem Dhwani. So she immediately looked at me, and within no time, or without any thought, looking around, that there were other seniors who can do that. I just started doing it. So later on, Mataji corrected me, Anusaya Mataji, that you should take care that if there is any issue, you let them do it. So like that, it's
Yeah.
very nice actually to be around someone senior devotee who keeps on correcting, not just says that okay, you're good and everything is going hunky dory. So yeah, I mean I like that point actually. That
Mm.
has always helped me as well for sure. So yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for the comment. It also shows that the humility is there to in order to, because you have to, when you come to Krishna consciousness, we all were like that. We all, at some point we were all new. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're still new. If you're humble, you would know that even after 15 years, you're still new. Mm. Because it is always an unraveling situation. My Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj, compared growth in spiritual mm, circles and spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness to like peeling an onion. You peel the outside and then you peel from it goes in. When you pull out, pull out, there's an inner aspect. Then you pull that in the inner. So you keep learning. As you grow, there'll be more experiences, deeper experiences. Anyone who says, I've done 10 years, therefore now I've arrived, I know everything, you sound like a Mayavadi, quite frankly. Because Mayavadi says, oh, well, I come to this faith now, and I don't know much. And at some point, I've read the Vedas, I know Vedanta, therefore now I'm Narayan. It's the same kind of thinking, foolish thinking. Hmm? We put them down. They say they are the same level. But why should you also do 10 and 15 years and say, oh, now I've also arrived, I know everything? We can't know everything. We're always constantly growing. That should be our attitude. And therefore, when others have other experience and they share, then we take it and we add it to what we know and understand about. And then you grow some more like that. Hmm? Nobody should feel that, oh, I've done 30 years, therefore I know everything. No, we're still learning. We're still learning. Spiritual life is unlimited. And as soon as we feel that we're better than others, we have to understand our minds have been stolen by Maya. That's actually what has happened. Even with some of the children and how we behave towards them, we have to be very careful. We don't know where they came from. Once upon a time, Nimai was also a child, and that's Lord Chaitanya. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I always reflect on. If I was in Navadvip at the time Lord Chaitanya was there, and I was older in age physically than when Lord Chaitanya came, how would I relate to Lord Chaitanya? Something to think about. Mm-hmm. If we put children down as the thing that we do now, most likely we would have put Lord Chaitanya down too. And he's God. Everything around us, spiritual and material, was from him. So we always should be respectful, nice. For children, we have to be nice to them. Speak nicely to them. You can instruct them. But if you speak nicely to them, chances are very high they'll hear you. But then we don't know the background of them, what they were in previous lives or where they've come from. Some of them are demigods in previous lives. So if we make seniority a very, very big thing, although of course, depending on when you got initiated, some have been initiated sooner than others, that is there. But we should think the same way it's done in the spiritual world. There are those that are closest to Krishna, Radha and Krishna, the eight principal gopis. But they don't put other people down just because they're closer to Krishna. They don't. And that's the attitude that we should have at all times. So yeah, we can guide others based on what we've got, but actually our own example of how eager we are to serve. If we're not eager to serve, we can't really guide anybody because we're in Maya ourselves. If the eagerness goes, Maya replaces it. So we have to be careful. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the comment that you made. Hare Krishna. Any other comments or questions? If not, then we passed the hour anyway. Thank you very much for coming on. This is all to help us. What I say is also for my own purification. Remind that nobody is big. We're all servants of the Lord, and we help each other to serve properly. Anytime somebody feels like they're over something, no, management has its position and what they do. That's one thing that's there. And they're like coaches. That's the part we have to understand. Hare Krishna. Vanchakapatrubyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. This is Monday, so beginning of a week. Have a nice, wonderful, Krishna conscious week, and keep remembering Krishna and chanting the holy name, and He will take charge of our lives. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Glory to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.